What if I told you that the thing that made school suck was the exact same thing that made my career, my passion, and my purpose? I know, sounds crazy, but buckle up because I want to share with you my story on how I turned dyslexia as my greatest weakness into my greatest advantage. For those who don't know me, I'm Coach William Blake. I'm a speaker, coach, and advocate for dyslexia. But it wasn't always that way. I was a kid that felt broken. And dyslexia wasn't something I saw as a weakness or a challenge only. It was something that weighed on me every single day. And I want to share with you how I flipped the script on dyslexia and how that you can do the exact same thing. Because here's the thing. It's not about us changing ourselves and that need for improvement, but it's simply embracing what we have inside of us. Growing up, I felt like I was on a completely different wavelength than most people. A lot of people thought I was lazy. My teacher would tell me to put more effort into my work. And I was trying, but the results weren't showing up. And I even remember back in the 6th grade, where at the end of the day, we'd be given this piece of paper and we'd have to write a full paragraph, which was half of the page, of what we learned that day. And I'll tell you, every single time I was the last kid to leave because we couldn't leave school until it was completed. And as I slowly wrote, I knew that every single day I had the chance to miss my bus because I wasn't being understood and I didn't know how to write faster. Another part was in the 4th grade. We were all doing a musical number. And my teacher, a minute before the bell would ring for us to get on the bus, would ask us if we want to do another rehearsal. I didn't want to do another one. We only have 1 minute left and I didn't want to miss the bus. So I said no. At the exact same time, everyone else around me said yes. And I felt this spotlight on me. I felt that the kids were backing away, that I had direct eye line contact with people. With the teacher. She looked me in the eye and said, "What did you say?" I looked around and said, "No." To which all the kids around me said, "Yes." And I looked at them and said, "No." And then the teacher told me to come down, sit next to her while they sang another song. And I felt like the dumbest kid in the world. To where, if you remember those kind of dunce hats that you used to have back in the day, I felt the kids were laughing and that I was the dumbest person. And inside, I told myself, I'm not going to raise up my voice again. And through those moments where I wanted to share my voice but got knocked down, what they didn't understand was that dyslexia wasn't a lack of effort. It was simply a different way of processing the world. And it wasn't until my early 20s to where I felt like I had a breakthrough with this. I came across this statistic. It wasn't motivational or anything, but it said 95% of CEOs read 50 plus books a year. I thought that'd be really cool to be a CEO or simply an entrepreneur or a business owner. And so I said I could not read 50 books. That's impossible, especially for a dyslexic who read maybe 1 book a year. Ain't no way that's going to happen. But the question kept coming back to my mind of what if I can do more? Like that question kept coming up. What if I can do more? And so I told myself 50 is impossible, but maybe 12. 12 books, 1 book a month didn't seem that bad. And as I did the math on it, 300 pages is a self-help book. So divide that by 30, that means 10 pages a day. So if I get 1 book a month, that means if I read 10 pages a day, that I'll hit 12 books by the end of the year. That didn't seem too bad. It might have taken me 30 minutes to an hour to read through those 10 pages, but 10 pages a day didn't seem too bad. And so I got those little cards that you used to have in school and I wrote 1 through 12 on it. Went up to the bookshelf, grabbed the smallest book that I can, a little purple book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, picked it up, opened it to the first page and started reading chapter 1. And from there, every single day I read. And by the end of the year, I was able to hit 12 books to where it even got even further into 40, 50, and 60 books as I learned new habits and new things to be able to work with it. But this question of what if I can do more solidified. And a limiting barrier that I had for society, I was able to break through it. just like what Tony Robbins was talking about, just like Jay Shetty or Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or any of those individuals that talk about breaking through limitations. I felt this limitation that I broke through it, and it was the best feeling in the world. And I want you guys to have that as well. Once I broke through and embraced dyslexia, doors started opening because that question kept coming up. What if I can do more? And so I was able to be a part of best-selling books. Then I was able to start a business specifically for coaching dyslexics. Then I was able to get on more stages and be able to be an MC and be able to be an award-winning speaker and compete and be in the top 10 of a speaker competition. All these things kept happening because I broke past that barrier that I had with dyslexia, and those doors started opening. Because wrapping it all together, here's the thing. Dyslexia doesn't define you. It's how you respond that defines you. And when you stop fighting who you are and embrace it, that's when your life changes. If you're watching this and thinking this sounds like me, I want you to know that you're not broken and that you're not alone. Dyslexia might just be your greatest strength, as it was for me. Here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below. I want you to share with me your biggest struggle or your proudest moment. Let's start opening the conversation, because that's when we get over and past this limiting barrier that society has put on dyslexia. The more we talk about this, the more we get to define the narrative. And Achievers, if you have found value in this video, hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend who you think needs it. Let's rewrite what it means to have dyslexia together.